Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and we're just a few days away from Apple's upcoming event where they're going to show off the iPhone 17 for the first time. It's called Awe Dropping, and they'll show off the iPhone 17, some Apple Watch updates, maybe AirPods Pro 3, and hopefully a few surprises as well. Now, every time as we get closer to the event, we typically hear more and more about what to expect with the upcoming iPhone. So I thought we'd go over 10 last-minute updates to expect from the iPhone 17 lineup. Now, today's information, at least the first part of it, comes from TrendForce, who says the prices will vary a little bit more this year. Now, on the base model, so the regular iPhone 17, we expect this to start at $799, so no change there. So $799, go up to about $1,099, and have options for 128, 256, and 512 gigabytes. However, with the Air model that we're expecting to replace the Plus model, this actually will start a little bit higher, supposedly, at $1,099 and go up to $1,499. So according to this report, we'll also have the option for 256 as far as the starting point for overall storage, and then it will go to 512 and 1 terabyte. We expect the same storage options not only on the iPhone 17 Air, but also the 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max. So we can expect similar storage options, but with the 17 Pro, we expect it now to start at $1,199 and go up to $1,599. We expect the 17 Pro Max to start at $1,299, which is a little bit more than last year, and go up to $1,699 if the report is accurate. Now, every year we've heard different things like this. We could see the same prices as we currently have, but of course we have to wait and see what Apple announces. So either way, we do expect them to be $50 to $100 higher, at least for the high-end models, but not necessarily for the base model. Also, we've gotten some reports from TrendForce as well as far as what to expect for RAM, and we've heard some of this before, but basically the iPhone 17 Air, the 17 Pro, and the 17 Pro Max are all expected to have 12 gigs of RAM, where the base model is expected to have 8 gigs of RAM. So they're sort of confirming what we've already heard, and it seems likely that that's going to be the case with this upcoming lineup. Now, we've already talked about how Apple will be switching back to aluminum for the Pro model phones. This is not unusual and probably will help with some other design changes we'll talk about in a moment. But one thing you can notice right here is that we're going to have some color options that seem to be maybe more vibrant than we originally anticipated. Typically with these sort of dummy units, they're off by a few shades, but the color of the upcoming iPhone could be more vibrant than originally thought based on a recent leak by Sonny Dixon. He shows what appears to be the new camera control buttons on the new iPhone 17. So orange and blue could be much more vibrant than even the colors I'm holding here. Maybe they'll be even darker or more vibrant than we originally anticipated, which is a huge change, and we haven't seen anything even close to that, even with the iPhone 13 Pro Max and Sierra Blue. So to have some more color options, maybe some more vibrancy, or just changes altogether is something I definitely welcome. We expect iOS 26 to launch in just a couple of weeks now, and it should make your device feel new or different again. So we'll have to see what it's like to use on the new phones. Now, you'll want to keep your phone safe, most likely with a case to protect that huge camera bar, but you'll also want to keep your personal data safe too, and a great way to do that ahead of the iPhone 17 launch is with today's sponsor, Incogni. Our personal data seems to constantly be accidentally leaked over and over or retrieved in data breaches, leaving your personal information exposed across various websites. Data brokers buy and sell this information, spreading your personal information all over the internet. Incogni helps track down and remove your personal data from multiple sites such as online directories, commercial databases, people search sites, and more. You can also use Incogni's custom removal feature to take down almost everything that's exposed about you online. Just send them a link where you found your information you wanted removed, and a dedicated privacy expert will handle the rest. All you have to do is complete 3 easy steps. First, sign up, then authorize Incogni to remove your data, and then the removal process begins. Within minutes of signing up myself, they'd identified 10 websites with my information and already sent removal requests. Now, after using Incogni for months, over 1,000 removals have been made on my behalf, and it's saved me hundreds of hours of my time trying to remove that data manually. Incogni also has a proven track record and is the only personal data removal site to be independently verified by Deloitte. Take your personal data back with Incogni and use code Zollotech at the link below and get 60% off an annual plan. Thanks again to Incogni for sponsoring this video. Now, there's good news about the iPhone 17 displays, as it seems like the rumors originally were true about them having 120 Hz displays. So we could see that on the iPhone 17, as well as the iPhone 17 Air and the Pro models as well this year. So that's a big change, and it's finally marking an end to the less smooth scrolling and low refresh rates on non-Pro iPhones. The iPhone 17 Pro models this year are said to feature brighter displays than current iPhone 16 Pro models, according to a leaker Instant Digital on Weibo. Currently, iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max tops out at about 2000 nits max brightness, so maybe we could see 2600 nits like Samsung's S25 Ultra, or maybe even brighter than that. Now, we know we're already getting some camera upgrades. Supposedly, we're going to get a 48 megapixel telephoto zoom lens. We've heard about that before, but it seems like in the latest information from TrendForce, they suggest that the 5x optical zoom could actually increase to 8x optical zoom with optimized software algorithms. So that's something we could see as an increase, and something that will make many people very happy is a recent report about the battery. Now, first, let's talk about the iPhone 17 Air battery, though, since many people are skeptical it will get you through a day since it's super thin. Supposedly, it's going to be using a silicon anode battery, which allows a higher energy density than the types of batteries used traditionally in iPhones. Ming-Chi Kuo earlier this year previously stated that the iPhone 17 Air would feature a more energy-dense battery, so it seems that rumor is going to be true. So that's something I definitely welcome. Maybe the disadvantage is a lack of cycles as far as overall battery health. We don't know yet, but there's a reason they're not using them throughout the iPhone lineup. Or maybe they are and we just haven't heard about it. But Instant Digital on Weibo has said that the batteries could be the biggest ever for the Pro lineup. So we could see the largest battery ever, especially in the 17 Pro Max with up to 5,000 milliamp hours. So that will be great to see, maybe along with that new chipset, getting much better battery life. So that's something we've been wanting for a long time. While it's typically great, iOS 26 has really harmed battery life so far. Of course, it's not complete yet, but hopefully it improves greatly, especially with the new models. Now, many people have been concerned that this is going to have an aluminum frame this year, and that doesn't really concern me too much, as the Pro phones or the high-end phones in the past have had aluminum as well. Then they went to stainless steel and then titanium, but you typically can't feel the difference really between aluminum and titanium when they're coated like Apple typically does with them. So hopefully we won't notice a difference there, but the new frame should also help with thermals when charging, doing intense tasks, and day-to-day use in hotter environments. A recent post by PipFix on X shows that there's going to be a vapor chamber to help manage heat. So if this is true, then we should see much better thermals this time around, as Apple's actually taking it seriously and getting rid of that heat. Aluminum should help with that, maybe some new materials we don't know about yet, but definitely we should see an improvement this time around. Now, if you're someone that likes SIM cards, the newest leak about that on the iPhone 17 Air says that we're not going to have the option of a physical SIM card on it. So we will have camera control and our power sleep wake button, but apparently there's not room for a SIM card according to the recent leaks. So that's something that helps with the super thin design, but is definitely a disappointment to a lot of people. But again, lines up with some of the training that's going on in the EU with authorized service centers. So maybe that's why they're learning about it. Hopefully we see the physical SIM cards stick around in the Pro models for a while, at least outside the United States. Now, finally, the release cycle could change this coming year. So with this year, we expect everything to be pretty much the same for September. However, next year, we could see the release of different phones earlier in the year, with the regular phones being released maybe in the beginning of the year, and then the Pro models being released toward the end of the year in the fall around September. So we could see a change in that overall, where Apple's changing the strategy, as they're said to be coming out with a folding phone and maybe a 20th anniversary phone a little bit later on. So all of those things could be changing quite a bit in the next few years as Apple continues to shake up the overall lineup. So those are 10 things we can expect. That seems like great news to me. Upgraded thermals, upgraded cameras, upgraded batteries. It seems a little bit too good to be true somewhat, but we'll have to wait and see if they included all of this. If they did, I would suspect a lot of people will run out and pre-order one. And as far as the pre-orders go, well, based on what Apple has done before, typically we can expect those since the event is on the 9th. Typically on the following Friday, usually around 8 a.m. Eastern Time is when they go live. The pre-orders go live then, and then typically the following Friday is when they release to the public on the 19th. So that's usually what we see every year. Of course, iOS 26 will usually be the previous Monday or Tuesday before the iPhone launch, so the 15th or 16th. So that's what I would expect as far as that goes. So lots of things to look forward to. Of course, updated Apple Watches, AirPods Pro, and much more. Let me know if you're planning to pick up an iPhone 17 in the comments below. And are you planning to pick up maybe an iPhone 17 Air? I'm curious to try this out myself. Or are you just going to go for the big one with the biggest battery? Let me know in the comments below, and what color would you choose as well? Of course, I'll link the wallpaper in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.